right. Good evening, traders. Let's do a brief sound and visual check. How's everybody doing? How's everybody's weekend? How's preparing for the new trading week? Just waiting for you guys to reply. We're on a delay. We're always on a delay, so sometimes it takes a moment. Sounds good. Sounds good. Looks good. Great. Good. What a new week. Brand new week. Brand new trading. If you struggled last week, it's a new one, right? Patriots won, so not so bad. Bears had a rough week. They're going to hear about it from me tomorrow. We all know that. That's for sure. But that's good. Everything's going good on my end as well. Markets close tomorrow, right? I mean, what is tomorrow? Let's take a look. Let's see if we could take a look. We have the Trader Hub over here on the left-hand side. And we go through, see how everything's doing. You can check the news out. That's right here. Tonight, we don't have too much of news going on overseas. Tomorrow is a French bank holiday. It's a Canadian holiday. It's a U.S. holiday tomorrow. It's Veterans Day. The future markets will still be trading, right? But as always, whenever there's a holiday, or whenever there is a lack of liquidity, there needs to be exercised a lot of caution, like a lot of caution, especially during the Asian session, right? Just the bond market is closed. Yeah, I'm not always too familiar with exactly those times on the different instruments. Since I only trade what you guys see here tonight. But let's go through. Let's do our regular rapid fire. Sundays, I usually cut it about 1 hour, a 1 hour class instead of an hour and a half. So let's get to it and not waste any time. Here is the daily chart on the Nasdaq. As we all know, it doesn't change very often, just once a day. And how about this rally? 1, 2, 3 very, very strong days coming off of the election, coming off a very crazy and a very busy week. And we had a nice consolidation day on Friday. We consolidated at all-time highs. And here we are again tonight. Tonight, we made new all-time highs. We just made new all-time highs. We broke through the 21,300. So the question that we are always wondering is, what is it going to look like? Are we going to have a breakout day where we continue to rally, even though it is a technical bank holiday? We have seen the market rally throughout the holidays before, right? Just have a kind of, I don't want to say, what do we want to call it, where the market moves really strong in one direction during a holiday. It's just kind of drifting up and to the right. But yeah, we're still holding above all-time highs. We went through, we broke through new all-time highs. And sometimes what's always a little bit nervous when it comes to breaking out is we get immediate rejection and we sell back off to go and look for some areas of support. Well, we haven't done that yet. We've basically broke through. We're holding all-time highs tonight during the Asian session so far. We're continuing to hold session highs. Today's still a green day so far, just to start it off. As we zoom into an hourly chart, you can see this has been the rally, like last 3-4 days that we've seen on the daily. Now we zoomed into the hourly chart, and you can see it here that's starting to get a lot like the Google Maps. The more you zoom in, the more you could see where we haven't really had much of a pullback, right? This is the biggest pullback what we have seen in this rally if we're going to be measuring this, and we can compare it to how we've seen these pullbacks that have been happening since the election. We just measure these pullbacks, right? Whether we want to measure like every single one, it's really up to you to see how much we have been pulling back during this bull move. Let's take a look, actually. I'm going to take a look. There we go. This seems pretty accurate. I really enjoy doing this. It gives a decent way to measure, to have these, average measured moves. And then we could say when we do get a pullback, it's typically been, about that deep on these pullbacks during this bull trend. And so maybe we get a pullback. We did just get out of one, so we can easily see this thing continue. With the bank holiday, I mean, I'm not expecting much. We can have continue for us to drift higher, and if we continue to zoom in, I'm going to clear these drawings. We do have a gap, so not always, but a lot of these Sundays we have a Sunday gap that maybe we can come down and fill. But the thing is, we've sold off, and it looks like when we was breaking through these highs, this has been resistance, right? And as of tonight, if we zoom in, this resistance that we seen late last week, is now starting to become support. So resistance is now becoming support. And so will this hold as support overnight? If it does, then are we going to continue to see a break through these 21,320s and continue to see all-time highs? Maybe. I don't want to be short this market. There's no technical analysis that I am seeing personally saying short this market. I mean, it's anybody's guess, right? We're at a situation where we're making all-time highs. The market's bullish, and you don't want to be trying to call the top, trying to short all-time highs and say, okay, now it's short, now it's short. We want to wait, or at least I want to wait for a reason to get in, right? Where do we buy the market? Do we wait for these pullbacks, right? That's been good on the way that this market has been moving over the past 3-4 days. Wait for a pullback of 100 points or what's a measured move. Buy the dip mentality is definitely it. Wait for a dip to look for it to buy. If you really do want to get short, then it's almost like a see money, take money, being cautious, not having too crazy of targets possibly, because there's been very little opportunities to short this market. And there's been very little opportunities to even find areas to short this market. Like, where's a good reason to short this market? And as we start to zoom in, the only way I could ever convince myself to short is like maybe we break down, maybe we break through this and we're looking to fill the gap. But then to assume that maybe we could sell all the way down to another support zone, it's very hard. It's very unrealistic to say, yeah, I'm going to short and we're going to sell all the way down to this support zone. We might do that, but it's very hard, especially during a holiday and especially during a very bullish market that we've seen over the past few days. It's more beneficial to buy the dip, and I think maybe we just seen that tonight. I mean, take a look. This was the highs, right? We take a look at the high. Here's the all-time high on Friday that we made. And technical analysis plays, right? We gapped up, we broke out. That was quite the move. We made all-time highs on the Sunday open, and it looks like we just had a pullback. We had a pullback at an area of, this was resistance. It's now becoming support, right? Resistance became support. And so that could have been a very nice opportunity to say, hey, we just broke out. We made all-time highs. I'm looking to buy the dip. And where do we buy the dip? We want to buy the dip at an area of support and resistance. And so it looks like we sold off, consolidated for a moment, and we broke out. So yeah, that just very basic stuff like that. When it comes to a market that's making all-time highs or a very strong trending market, we want to, number one, make sure we're going with the technicals. We want to be going with the momentum. If we are going against it, then understanding that we are going against it and that the profit targets are going to be shortened compared to going with it, right? Where, hey, we could buy at an area of support, so maybe we look to buy at a reversal, a breakout trade around, say 271, and then you can have longer targets, right? Wider targets. Maybe we go back up to test the highs. Maybe we're looking to just break new all-time highs, and we're looking for the market to get all the way up to 21,400. Like, those are reasonable expectations, because in a trending market like this, the breakouts could be very vicious and trending. That's why they call it a trending market, right? Because look at this move at the Sunday open. We went from basically 226 and gapped up 90 points. 94, 96 points. Like, that is a big gap. Like, that's a move. And typically you don't see very much opportunities to sell this market. I mean, it looks like Friday afternoon there was a bit of a sell-off, but that's a hard one to do. So going into this week, I think that's what I'm going to be looking at, is looking to buy the dip, looking for opportunities to buy at areas of support. And if I am getting into any short, it needs to be on a strong technical reason, and it's going to be very limited in terms of see profit, take profit. And that's specifically on the Nasdaq. Now, moving on. Now, remember, keep your questions. I'll get to your questions here in a little bit. Let's finish doing all of the analysis. Let's take a look at the crude oil. Crude oil is looking, it's actually starting to look bearish. We did make a lower low. So as I'm looking at this, as I'm doing the technical analysis, right? Higher lows, we're making a higher lows. Maybe this is a higher low. And then I was considering this one right here at 70.80s to be a higher low. And then again, maybe this was going to be the higher low. Well, we failed. We broke through that. And so I'm not as bullish based off of the way we've seen crude oil act on Friday. And, maybe crude oil is going to be selling off, and maybe we're going to see a break and a test of at minimum, maybe $69 a barrel, right? That's going to be my first target, or at least area. I mean, it's a decent zone because you can see where we had that pivot from Sunday's gap up. And so there still is a gap that has not been filled, where I'm looking at crude oil on the hourly chart, and this gap is still there. Like, this is a decent sized gap. So maybe crude can come, sell down, and at least fill that. Maybe we get further continuation down to these, $67 a barrel. How's the election affecting this? I mean, it really is anyone's guess. And if I was to guess, and it's purely a guess, is that, maybe there's going to be a lot less political tension, and then maybe we can continue to see, crude oil sell off, and hopefully it's going to be cheaper to fill your car up with gas. That's what I know everyone's rooting for, is cheaper gas prices. But we'll see. It's looking a lot more bearish, especially since we broke this previous low. However, we all know anything can happen. There can be some random headline that no one was expected, and crude oil could just gap or just go straight up, $1 or $2 in like a minute. But as of now, based off what we see in front of us and based off of purely technicals, this is looking pretty bearish. And if we do start to break more of these support pivots, or however you want to call them, then obviously the more bearish it's going to get, and I could see us making a run for $67 a barrel. Now, that doesn't mean, and this is just looking based off of what we're currently seeing. However, we could easily make a run down to like 69, fill this gap, and then immediately reject and rally, because as we know, and as I've been watching really recently, is that crude oil likes to do this. It likes to make a pivot, and then sometimes it runs liquidity or runs stop losses, and then it makes a run. So, that could be in the cards for the bulls, where if we do run stop losses, everyone maybe having their stop losses at that area, maybe a little bit lower, and then we make a run and push higher into the mid 70s. So that is also an option. Those are the two scenarios that I'm kind of watching going into this week. Like, that's the beginning of the week ideas that I've been watching. Next, let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Nikkei, Japanese market, Nikkei. I think it's buy the dip mentality again. As I'm looking at this over the past month or so, I mean, this has been kind of straightforward, similar to the Nasdaq, buy the dip. I mean, this one was looking like maybe the dip was a little bit stronger, buying here. Well, we did have that massive sell-off, and now we're holding, like, it's not an exact, right? It's more of a zone. Like, you can imagine how this could be one very thick zone. It's not an exact, like, nothing is exact in the markets, where this could be a zone like this, where we sold off, we consolidated, and we rallied. And over the past 2 hours, just tonight, we've already seen a really nice rally in the Japanese market in Nikkei. And so maybe we can continue to rally up, maybe test 40,000, break above 40,000. We do have, maybe some, a flag forming where we might consolidate a little bit. I'm not sure, but if we do start to break, then yeah, 40,000, maybe some highs that we've seen November 6th can come into play here on the Nikkei. And then on the opposite side, I mean, are we going to see a sell-off? I'm not going to be bearish. Maybe there's an argument to be made that we have a little bit of a sell-off and come test the bottom end of this, flagging pattern. But until we break this low, it's bullish. And if we do end up breaking the low, obviously, we're going to start looking for targets down here that we were seeing at the beginning of November. But until then, it's let's see if we could break out to the long side on the Nikkei. I don't see any trades setting up. Obviously, the trade would be the break of this consolidation, which we did break to the long side. And so maybe just waiting, see if we see further consolidation, maybe some other opportunities. But I'm looking at specifically the long side until something does change in the market. Last but not least, gold. Let's take a look at gold, and then we'll get to some questions. We do have 10 minutes until the 8 p.m., which we see a spike in volatility. So this is kind of where I was looking at gold on Friday. If you guys were joining Fast Markets when Mohammed and myself was on Fast Markets on Friday, I was looking at gold as more of a pullback where, we did have that massive sell-off. Maybe I talked about it Thursday night as well. And I was looking at gold as, this looks to me like just a pullback based off the intermediate trend. This was a nice support zone, and that support is now becoming resistance. And we can see gold continue back down to the area, like some of these lows. Maybe we see, the lower 70s and maybe even making a run for this low. And the question I think I was trying to answer last week was, hey, Coach Dakota, how do we know whether this move right here, this bullish move, like what we're seeing right there before the fact, right? How do we know? Is this just a pullback or is this a reversal? And that's always the hard one to answer, right? Because some people could look at this to say this is a pullback. Other people will say, this is a reversal and it's bullish, depending on how you look at this, and you never know until after the fact. And that's what, taking a trade, putting risk on the market, and that's why nothing is at 100%. And so here we are. It's sure enough, now it's starting to look like, in fact, gold, that was a pullback, and now we're seeing, we're breaking this low. We broke through this, and gold is starting to sell off a little bit more. And so as of right now, it's looking more and more that it is a pullback, and gold could very well start to sell off and test this. But we do have 10 more minutes, and you guys are mentioning Bitcoin. Bitcoin's been on everyone's list. Here's Bitcoin. I don't talk about Bitcoin too much, but you guys are talking about it. Let's take a look at it. It's been something to talk about, that's for sure. Let's look at this. Here we go. There's the DOM. There's the depth of market on Bitcoin. And just like any market, technical analysis works, right? This one was pretty simple and straightforward, where you guys know the very basic technical analysis, right? Where we're flagging pattern, we broke out. And when we break out, we like to test it. We tested it, and it looks like it's just gone. Bitcoin is straight up. What a move. What a move. That's a gap. That's one heck of a gap here. This is a daily chart on Bitcoin, and I don't trade it, so I don't know how it reacts to like gaps. I don't know how it reacts, but technical analysis is technical analysis, regardless of what market you're on. And so that's one heck of a gap. I do know that crypto trades over the weekend. Correct me if I'm wrong. Obviously crypto future, that this does not trade over the weekend. But according to this particular instrument that we're seeing in front of us, there is this gap. How valid this is, I don't know. Do gaps even play on crypto? Is there ever such thing as a gap? I don't think so. And so I think this can be irrelevant when it comes to Bitcoin, even though it looks pretty dang glaring. But I don't know. Well, I don't trade it enough to have a valid yes or no answer. It just looks really bullish. Like, that's it. It looks as bullish as a chart can get. Like, look at that. We opened up. We sold off a little bit since we opened. And here we go. We broke out. These are all-time highs, right? Like, this is an all-time high, correct? Like, we're sitting here watching Bitcoin make all-time highs, 82,260. That gap is the price action over the weekend. Yep. Yeah, that's why I said I don't know if I don't think it will honor, like, gaps will be different in this instrument than the Nasdaq, right? Because the Nasdaq doesn't trade over the weekend, but my understanding is Bitcoin does, and so I don't know. I don't have a solid answer to say this gap is going to mean anything to this particular instrument. And yeah, this is nuts. You just buy it, right? Like, that's the idea for Bitcoin. That's what I see everywhere. Just, man, buy Bitcoin. We're going to 100,000. I mean, that's the next stop that everyone's been talking about, correct? Is everyone's talking about the 100,000 level? I mean, where's that at over here? 100,000. I don't know. Does anybody here have Bitcoin? Would you guys trade Bitcoin? Is that what everyone's talking about? That big, huge, round psychological number, 100,000? One does not sell Bitcoin. Measured some moves on Bitcoin. Are we going to see a pullback before it gets to Bitcoin to 100,000? I mean, it's one heck of an instrument, that's for sure. Oh, Lido, send me some. Bought some. Yeah, I play Bitcoin. It's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know enough about it to say or suggest or even talk about it outside of some very basic technicals. It's an interesting thing for sure. It has a lot of volatility. Like, look at this volatility during the Asian session. Like, this is interesting, to say the least. It's tradable, right? Anything with this much volatility, and you can see there's a bit of a spread. I don't have a demo account that I could maybe test on it. Maybe we could. Yeah, look at this. How would you trade this? Maybe let me see if I could just pull up this is pure curiosity on my end. Let's see if I could do a demo account. I'm going to see if I could set myself up a practice account, and let's take a look at this. I'm curious because it's moving like crazy. I'm not going to test it on my live account, but I'm going to see if I could set up a practice. And yeah, that's just so much volatility, so much. Yeah, maybe I'll take time to do it again, but I'll be curious to see how it trades. Let's take a look. Let's zoom. Let's use a smaller time frame. I'm curious to see how Bitcoin. There's a 3-bar reversal. All right, there's a 3-bar reversal on a 5-minute chart. If anybody wants to know what a 3-bar reversal, that is it. How does a 3-bar reversal play on Bitcoin? Right, we have a trend. There's bar number 1, bar number 2. This is bar number 3, and so technically a 3-bar reversal would be right there at 82.010 at the bottom of the main reversal candle. So that is a 3-bar reversal. I would take this trade. That would be a trade I would take with some caution. My target would probably be this high that we're seeing right here, that high. So that's possible. So let's do this. I want to see if this will work. I'm testing this one out. Let's pull this one aside, and I'm testing this out. Let's do it. I'm going to test it out. We're going to try this. Let's go to. I had a silver trade. I was short silver a minute ago on this one. Let's take a look at MBT. Let's go. We could do this. I don't mind doing this. This is a micro Bitcoin. I'm going to see how it would look the way I trade during the New York session. I usually have a 100 tick chart. looking pretty similar. 105 minute, pretty similar. 100 tick chart and this. But who wants to short Bitcoin? I want to see how this reacts because it's an interesting market. I heard it plays like Nasdaq. Yeah, this is definitely an interesting, because this is technically a 3-bar reversal, which I would want to be short until we get to 705. I'm going to go ahead and just join one. We could watch and see how it plays. It's $2 a tick, I believe. Or look, you can see over here on the DOM. Let me make sure I'm sharing that. Let's see, there we go. $2 a point, 50 cents per tick per contract. So let's see. The setup is a 3-bar reversal. Stop is going to be above that. So everybody who wants to know what a 3-bar reversal, this is it. This is a 3-bar reversal. We have a trend. We have bar number 1. Here's the reversal bar and bar number 3. Technically, I'm a little bit late to the party because the 3-bar reversal entry would be like at the crossing of that bar, but that's okay being a little bit late because this is just a test. This is purely testing. So we'll see. Who shorts Bitcoin though? Don't ever sell Bitcoin. Yeah, who wants to sell Bitcoin when we're breaking out? But testing a 3-bar reversal, why not? I don't mind. Interesting. News. Yeah, it's a fun conversation piece. So let's get to some questions. And now, another reminder. Let me get the reminder, which I know a lot of people are actually probably waiting on. So if you guys missed it, all last week I was referring and talking about this Topstep Labs. So tomorrow during slow markets, tomorrow night during slow market, which is Monday night, we will be doing the giveaway. So this is, just so you guys know, if you missed it, it was all last week. If you guys caught a piece of it, then tune in. It's going to be tomorrow. I'm excited for it. I'm actually really excited for it. So tomorrow, which is Monday, during class, I'm going to be doing the giveaway. So now remember, I don't pick them. I'm not the one that picks them. They're already picked. They're going to give me the lists, and I'm going to announce it during slow markets tomorrow. It's 20 of them. The session's this week. It's Wednesday. It's November 13th. So it's this week. I'm excited for it. And then we're going to have a follow-up class. So stay tuned. Tomorrow is when it's going to be. I think there was 4 forms. I think there was 4 of them. 4 or 3. I'll have to double check. So far this 3-bar reversal's playing out. Take profit. I mean, take profit would be right there, right? That would be the take profit is the high of this candle, the high of the Sunday open right there. This is how I trade during the New York session. There's not as much volume. The volume's still pretty light because the 100 tick chart is not moving very much. What an interesting thing. This is a... I don't get a pick, guys. Like I said, if I could pick, it'd be hard for me to pick as well because there's a lot of traders who join my slow markets almost every single night, and so it would be very, very hard for me to pick. You know, I'm gonna trail this. Actually, I'm making a decision. I'm going to trail my stop. Maybe Bitcoin is just volatile. Let's see. I want to see how it's going to react around. Let me get this set up. I got to get this one. Let's go. Boom. I want to see how it's going to react around this point. I want to see how Bitcoin is going to react at this, because that's where we opened. You know, I don't even need the double, because that's where the high was of the open, right? That's the opening 5 minutes. And so that's the high point. I want to see how Bitcoin reacts, and then maybe I just trail it. Yeah, for everyone who's here every single night, I wish I could just give everybody, but if you leave it up to me, I'd give it to too many people, and then it's just going to be a normal slow markets class. But let's get to some questions. We have amazing moderator here, and Yeah, let's go. Let's get through them while we watch this Bitcoin trade. Can you look at natural gas? Looking for your thoughts on a setup for a long. Tommy D. What I forgot to mention is take a look at the YouTube chat. There is the Topstep risk disclosure, and everything I say tonight and every night when I'm on Topstep TV is not a signal, and it's only for educational purposes only. That's why it's a Discord. So thoughts for a long, I don't think it would be good for me to just like go to a market and say, yeah, I like the long, because I don't want to influence anybody's trades, because I don't trade natural gas either. So I wouldn't even feel confident saying anything on natural gas itself. And look how volatile this thing is. Is that a bear flag on gold 5-minute time frame? So we are, it is 8 p.m. So let's take a look at gold. How's gold reacting on the 5 minutes? We are selling off. We're continuing to sell off on gold. Maybe this is the flag that trader is referring to, right? I don't know what that reference would be to, but gold is selling off. Let me see what silver. I think I closed my silver trade out. Yeah, I did. Okay. And then we were in a micro Bitcoin, right? We were in a micro Bitcoin. Because of this 3-bar reversal, it's purely only on a 3-bar reversal, nothing else. And we didn't even get to this. We didn't get to the high of Sunday. Just buy. That was a pullback. That was a pullback in Bitcoin. I mean, let's look. Yeah, I guess it was, huh? That was a decent pullback on Bitcoin. It's like when the Nasdaq is just rallying, and then you barely get 10-point pullbacks on the Nasdaq. See, I love that you could trade you could trade Bitcoin here in futures here at Topstep. You could trade currencies here at Topstep. You could trade. There's so many different products. So you're not just limited to what you see at Topstep TV on the day show, where we're talking primarily about the Nasdaq. I mean, there were some polls I seen on Twitter or on X that saying, there's still so many traders who trade futures. You could trade futures, or not futures, Forex. You could trade Forex here at Topstep. So I don't mind seeing more Forex traders trading Forex futures. Like I think that's the coolest thing in the world. I do have a Forex background. So I thought that was interesting. What's your take on extended sessions, and when do they start? Derek, I haven't looked too much into extended sessions. Futures are not, I mean, there's going to be more volume, I feel like, maybe in futures. We're in the futures market. Futures are already open 23 hours Monday through, or Sunday night through Friday afternoon. Just volume. Honestly, much less stressful trading currency as a futures contract versus CFD. Position size much easier to calculate. Yeah, everyone might, to me, the Nasdaq futures and position sizing is just easier for me. I'm used to it. And so maybe there's an aspect to just, if you're used to trading one thing, then, I don't know. But yeah, we can trade Forex. I know Coach Jay. I know Coach Paul. Coach Paul's a big Forex trader as well. He trades Forex. And I would love to see more Forex traders here at Topstep. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah, Wildfire. I did see that the New York may go 22 hours a day. And I think that can be very, very good for volume and for trade. I mean, it only makes sense. I think it was going in that direction. And anyway, there's been a lot of conversation about markets being open more and more and more for longer times. And it's not going to change too much. I think it's going to test a lot of traders' patience, because just because you can trade doesn't mean you should. That's definitely something that we're going to be running into. And we're going to see a lot of. But we're at futures. It's open 23 hours. Anyway, 23 hours of volatility. Why is the last few $100s to pass a combine so hard? It's 1000% psychological, Mo. It's the last part of anything is hard, right? The last part of a race, the last final lap of a race, the last mile of a marathon, the last part of anything is very, very hard. Typically, it's in the trading, it's psychologic. I mean, it's the psychology of being so close, but yet so far away. It is. But regardless, you need to, I'm going to say this. I feel like I'm going to say this every single night for the next year. And it's process over profits. Process over profits. I need a shirt or a hoodie that says process over profits. You know what? That sounds like a pretty dang good hoodie. And process over profits. That's going to be a great hoodie. I'm gonna get that. I'm getting that. Process over profits. That's going to be my new hoodie. I'm just going to wear it every night. Mr. Algo, when merch? I'm not going to be selling merch. I won't sell. I don't want to sell anything. If anything, maybe I just go a bunch of like process over profits hoodies and then just give them away. Yes. Dakota, is a 15-minute 3-bar reversal strong? You always say 5. I just like the 5-minute time frame. If you have a 3-bar reversal on a 15-minute, then sure. Like I said, time frames are fractal. Whether this is a 5-minute 3-bar reversal that I'm looking at now, but very well, if you trade on a 15-minute time frame, you can, look right there. Here, this is Bitcoin, and if you're trading off a 15-minute time frame, then you can say that's a 3-bar reversal, and the 3-bar reversal on the 15-minute is, right there. Like here's bar number 1, bar number 2, and number 3. It doesn't really matter, right? It depends on how you trade. The most important part is whatever you do it consistently. Sometimes I really like 3-bar reversals on the 1 hour time frame, and it depends on what type of trader you are. If you're a scalper only going for 3 to 10 points, then an hourly chart is going to mean a lot less to you. Like, am I going to go for 10 points for a 3-bar reversal on an hourly chart? Maybe, most likely not. Am I going to look at a daily chart and say, okay, based off the daily chart, I'm going to look for a 3-bar reversal on the daily, and that's going to affect my 10-point trade? Not really. That's it's a lot harder. So use a time frame you're comfortable with, there's not a really great rule of thumb, but maybe this could help. Now, this is purely a suggestion, okay? And maybe I could work with the other coaches, maybe Coach Jay, Paul, and Vince, and some of the others to maybe get a good outline. What do you guys think? What does everybody think? Maybe a good outline, because I know there's a lot of traders that struggle with, like, what time frame should I use? Like, okay, well, what type of trader, are you? Like, what kind of trader do you want to be? Are you looking for 5 to 10 points? It's like, yeah, I'm looking for 5 to 10 points. Well, 5 to 10 points, maybe a 1 minute or a 5 minute, right? Are you looking for 30 to 60? Then maybe a 15-minute or an hourly chart. I don't know. I think there's going to be some I think there's a general rule of thumb, right? If you're looking for like 3 points, maybe using this is extreme, but if you're looking for 3 points, you're not going to be using an hourly chart. Maybe you're going to use a 30-second chart or a 100-tick chart. I don't know. I'll be curious. I haven't thought too much in depth on that. Bell to bell, I don't even dare to scalp the Nasdaq. Yeah, some people, it's interesting. Well, we're just consolidating now here on Bitcoin. I might. Yeah, this is acting as support. No sell off yet. Some days I like to trade 1 hour. Some days I trade the 5-minute charts. Do you have a general rule on why you're trading different time frames on different days? I don't. Greg's asking. can we talk about Renko charts? I'd like to expand my knowledge. I don't have enough knowledge on Renko charts to give much knowledge. I used to trade Renko charts. I know that maybe Coach Robert would have a better understanding on Renko charts than I do. I'm not that great with Renko. So I don't feel great with... I don't feel good enough to be able to give any advice based off of Renko charts. I believe it's range, if I remember correct. They're almost like range bars. Here we go. Bitcoin's just going up. It's going straight up. Looks like a Minecraft chart. Yeah. Yeah, Coach Robert, I think, is going to be the best one to talk about Renko charts. That's for sure. That was buy the dip opportunity. Yeah, this was now. I was wanting it to see if we could touch. I can't. I was looking for it to touch the high of that open, the open of Sunday, and we didn't get there. Either that or let me get this set up. Let's go. Oh, there's a horizontal bar on here somewhere. Let's go. It's under shapes. We'll do that. There we go. So I was actually looking for it to get down either at this point or looking for it to get down to this point. Those are the 2 points that I'm looking for this to go, right? But it's easy to be wrong, right? Saying, hey, this was the dip. I don't trade Bitcoin enough. And like I said, this is just something I am testing out. This is a test for me anyway. 100% a test on my end. Let me get rid of those actually. I need to make sure I don't have anything too crazy. I'm not as great of a drawer. I can't draw on my charts as good as Mohammed. Mohammed's amazing at drawing on his charts. Your audio is breaking up from time to time. I'm not sure. I have not had audio issues like that. It could be an internet connection on your end. Yeah, it still might make it down there. I don't know. I don't trade Bitcoin. This is the trade set up based off of a 5-minute chart. And so this is valid. This is one where if we get down there, we get down there. And I might trail this. Audio's fine? Okay, good. That's what I thought. Okay, here's a good question. What is a good daily risk limit to set with 2K leverage? I want to set a lockout amount, but I don't know what's a good limit amount. I would say $200. This is just a pure guess. I wouldn't risk more than $200 on a 50K account. I mean, that's 10 days of straight losses, but I wouldn't worry too much about the dollar amount. Like I said, trade micros, do process over profits, look for like whatever instrument you trade. If you trade the Nasdaq, look for maybe if you're looking for 10 points, focus on that. Say, I'm going to be risking 10 points today, right? And then if you're trading one micro, there you go. That's $20. So I would focus on the points or the ticks rather than the dollar amount. But yeah, you will have to know like what are you going for, and then kind of do the reverse math to see the dollar amount. But you need to start off with the process first and do it with one micro. Practice your process with one micro. Is gold breaking out? I don't know. Like I said, this is a 5-minute. Maybe. I mean, we are down at an area of was resistance, right? And if we're looking at it now, that's a hard one. This is a hard one. Gold's pretty dang bearish, so it'd be hard for me to be a buyer because if we look at the 1-hour chart, this market could still continue down to these 60s. So I'm very hesitant to have any buying on gold. Right? I need more market structure for me to buy gold anyway. And we're just watching Bitcoin while I answer some questions, because Bitcoin is the hot topic right now. Bitcoin is the hot topic. How do you decide to trail your trade, Coach? It depends on the trade, right? And it depends on how the market's reacting. For this example, trailing it is valid because, for me, a risk reward, maybe it would be something like this. Actually, this one has an upside down risk reward, but I'm okay because this isn't my life. This is a test, something I am like testing out. This gap to me has no, the fact that we gapped up on Bitcoin is invalid to me. So this gap means nothing in the way I view this, but I could be wrong because I do not trade Bitcoin. And I just want to make sure that is very, very clear. I do not trade Bitcoin. Yeah, you guys, you're seeing it now. This is Bitcoin micros right here. Topstep X, Bitcoin micros. You can trade Bitcoin micros. You could trade futures. I specifically trade the Nasdaq, crude oil, gold, and then the Nikkei. And this is a great conversation tonight because everyone's talking about Bitcoin. And so here I am. I'm talking about Bitcoin. We're watching Bitcoin, and I placed one trade on Bitcoin. I might add to this position, to be honest. I might get into a second micro Bitcoin contract here at one. Let's just watch it. I might get into a second one up here. It's okay to lose the Bitcoin. I'm the one that's short Bitcoin going into all-time highs. I'm him. I'm that guy. Yeah, I would never do this in my live account, but like I said, it was very, very volatile. And we're talking. This is a good conversation piece, regardless of what market it is. If the market's moving and we could talk about it, and if there might be an opportunity, sure, I'll talk about it. And if there is an opportunity, yeah. And this is purely based off of 5 minute. Of course, I wish I would have got the true entry, which is at 82,000 even, it looks like, on this 3-bar reversal that we're seeing right here. Like, that's the trade. To me, that's the trade from a technical standpoint. 3-bar reversal. Entry should be right where my white line is. I got in, a little bit late, so I sacrificed my risk reward, and then my stop at the high of that candle. And so we're going to see here together how Bitcoin reacts to technical analysis. It's against the trend, so odds are I lose this trade. Like, odds are pretty high that I take a loss on this trade. I'm going to just get into my second one. I want this as an entry price. Let's see how we get filled. Watching the DOM. See if we could get filled here. It settled down. It settled down a lot, actually. There we go. Now that makes sense. That's more accurate. Entry right there at the 3-bar reversal. Oh man. Yeah, I put the risk disclosure in here, right? This is not a trade. This is definitely not one to be trading. But we'll see. We'll just let this one play around. Like I said, $93 on this technical. Odds are we're just going to break up. I don't know. I don't trade Bitcoin, but you guys do. You guys probably trade Bitcoin. You probably hold Bitcoin. To me, I look at Bitcoin as probably a longer term investment and not Bitcoin I see as a longer term investment and not something I trade. I don't think I would ever actively trade Bitcoin. I would see it more as just, I'm going to buy and hold on to it for, a year or 2 or 3 years or something. Did you win Nikkei last Thursday? I can't remember. I barely remember trades a couple days later. You'd have to remind me. Bitcoin's a long-term investment. Yeah, that's the way I see Bitcoin. I don't actively day trade it, but you can. It's just not me. It's 5 a.m. right now. Ooh, good morning. Yeah, because we have traders around the world. So it's morning for a lot of traders and it's night or evening for others. Bitcoin was a scalping paradise on the 5-minute over the weekend. Let's see. I want to see how Bitcoin reacted over the weekend. Was it just back and forth? I don't know. This is the weekend, right? Oh, no, this is not the weekend. It was everything in between here, right? Because the weekend won't show on a futures contract, not on this one, right? That I have it set up for. Is this the all-time high then for Bitcoin? Is 82,440 an all-time high? I think it is. I think this is the all-time high for Bitcoin. Yes? Yes? Okay. So we're right here, right near all-time highs. You believe it is? Okay, well, let's get ready to finish it up here. 7 more minutes left. Let's do a round through. I'm going to watch these one more time. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at crude oil. This is a 5-minute chart. Still pretty bearish. I could see this thing selling off. Look, maybe this is a pullback. If this thing continues to roll over, maybe we see that run down to below $70 a barrel, and man, even lower. This thing, you can see where it could easily roll even further, selling off. Finish it off. Let's take a look at gold. Gold continuing to sell off. I mean, this was just looking to me like a pullback, and we got that pullback. And now we're seeing a continuation. Maybe we see that continuation down towards these 60s between now and to tomorrow. I'm going to be on fast markets tomorrow. It's going to be a great one. I'm excited for it. Let's take a look at the Nikkei, which is the Japanese market. And we're starting to sell off a little bit in the Japanese market, which is understandable. We're looking at this to be a flagging pattern. Whether we see something like this or whether we are looking at it like that, it's a consolidation. It's a flagging pattern. Maybe we come back down here, find some buying opportunities, or look for an opportunity for this thing to break through and sell off. And then let's finish it off with maybe the Nasdaq. Nasdaq just straight up bullish. We did open up with a nice gap. This is an hourly chart. If we zoom into a 5-minute chart, maybe we cover this gap, right? This is a gap that, has more. I mean, this is a gap. It's not like the Bitcoin we were looking at a moment ago where it trades over the weekend. The Nasdaq does not trade over the weekend. And so this is a valid gap to me. So maybe we do sell off and, cover this gap. Like, that is very realistic. I'd like to see that. But overall, I am personally looking for buying the dip opportunities. This market's very, very strong. And if we do get any type of sell-off, any type of opportunity to buy the dip, I am going to do that. I would love to see a buy the dip opportunity, because now we're just continuing to push all-time highs, and it is very difficult to trade all-time highs, or at least from a day trading perspective, because I just push higher, 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 and for me anyway. But other than that, it's going to be a great week. Let's take a look at the news. I typically look at Forex Factory, but you could see here in the Traders Hub or the Trader Hub, where tomorrow, low volatility, or at least low liquidity or low volume. Tomorrow is a holiday. Tomorrow is a bank holiday. It's Veterans Day. As you guys pointed out, it's a bank holiday. It's a French bank holiday. It's a Canadian bank holiday. And it's a U.S. bank holiday. So don't expect anything too crazy tomorrow. I am on fast markets. That's going to be something to pay attention to. You can see it there. U.S. Veterans holiday. And then, the following day, Tuesday, not much going on Tuesday as well, but the action continues. Wednesday, I think we could see a spike in volatility where we have, core CPI, CPI, month over month, year over year. We have a lot of Fed members speaking and, following up with that. You guys know Thursday is more CPI or PPI. It's the core PPI coming out. We'll have Powell speaking. We have the Bank of England coming out. There's a lot of speakers throughout the entire week. And so I think the action this week is going to be coming on possibly Wednesday. Anything can happen. Tomorrow, it's a holiday. maybe it could be a good day if you do not feel like trading to maybe take tomorrow off. You don't have to trade. Trading is 100% optional. Biggest thing tomorrow for me is going to be that giveaway. I'm excited for that, where we'll be doing that giveaway. I'll be doing that giveaway tomorrow night, as you guys seen that, and you guys have been talking about that. It's for that group coaching tomorrow night. I'm going to be doing that giveaway for the 20 spots for the Topstep Labs. However, that's different from the VIP. The VIP is going to be January. So you guys that are watching Topstep TV and the day show, giving you the check-ins, the VIP is dramatically better than the 20 event group coaching, right? Because it comes with, 3 free months of a trading combine, 2 resets a month, no activation fee, and that access to that private Discord, which I've been watching. I have access to them, and I've been watching the coaches coach their VIPs, and it's pretty dang cool. It's really cool to see the coaching in those VIP rooms. I've dedicated myself to having a VIP one, so that's to come in January as well, and I'm excited for it. I'm not the best coach, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Until then, everybody take care, and I will see everybody bright and early tomorrow morning. If not, tomorrow afternoon for the giveaway. Take care and see you then.